Hello, my name is Stacey Mankoff. I'm the managing principal of the Mankoff Company and founder of After the Bell events and also creator of the Bellringer. And today I am delighted to welcome Linda Lee talking about adding intrinsic values to NFT. Linda is the CEO and founder of WonderBlocks.io and is a 0-1 entrepreneur, investor, and high-tech executive who has created over $1 billion in value with her MO, make it happen and make a difference, which I think is just terrific. Linda specializes in many areas, including product management, product strategy, monetization, business modeling, operations, and people management. And she is a domain expert in gaming, blockchain, NFT marketplaces, consumer and small business marketplaces, big data, machine learning, AI, among many other areas. Her current interests lie in the intersection of blockchain and gaming. And I've said a mouthful, Linda, so welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super humbled to be here, and we're delighted to talk to you guys about NFTs and intrinsic values in NFTs.
That's terrific. Well, first you get, what do you mean by intrinsic value?
Sure. Thank you for asking. There are various definitions of the word value. Specifically in today's discussion, we're going to refer to the word value as the value of an asset. There are different factors that are involved when assessing the value of an asset. One is intrinsic value and the other one is extrinsic value. So for intrinsic value is really representing the inherent value of the object, of the asset, and is often calculated through a very objective analysis in terms of what is the value that this object brings to its owner. And some people also call it, it's the value of its own, it's the inherent value of an object. The other one is extrinsic value, which is the opposite of intrinsic, meaning is the portion of the asset value that is given by the outside world, by its investors, by its traders. Often you hear the words intrinsic and extrinsic value in the stock options world, where the intrinsic value is basically the difference between the stock price and the strike price of the option. And the extrinsic value is that additional premium that the investor or the trader is adding onto the value, onto the price of the option. But we're not here to talk about stock options. We're here to talk about, NFTs.
Right.
So, in the NFT world, well, first of all, I want to say, put out a disclaimer that I am not a financial advisor. I'm purely here to share my perspective.
Right.
But if you, think about NFTs, there are different types of NFTs out there today. The most popular one that most of us know about is the representation of a digital art. And we've all heard about the digital art that was auctioned off for $69 million and above at Christie's. Right. But if you think about it, is that digital art, what is the true value of that digital art? The intrinsic value. There's very little of it, right? Then most of the entire $69 million was given to by the buyer, by the auctioneer, that they believe that art is worth $69 million because of the future pride of ownership or happiness of owning that piece of art.
Linda, isn't that the case with any sort of item? I mean, especially when you're talking about Christie's, they set an auction value on it, and then they might have set something much lower, and then it goes much higher depending on demand.
Correct. I mean, that is given basically by whoever is bidding on it, right? They're placing that value. So is it extrinsic? Let me give you an example of what could be an intrinsic value in terms of assets. Sure. If you think about it, a piece of real estate, a property, a rental property, it provides you rental income. And so if you do some sort of a future cash flow analysis of your rental income, usually that's how rental properties are valued objectively, right? Then the extrinsic value for another your single family home, the one that you live in, the one that you want to buy for yourself, you place the value not because of its potential income, but because of your happiness.
Go.
Yeah, so I was saying that most of the digital art NFTs, they primarily, its value is placed by external factors, meaning that what the traders and investors believe it's worth. And there could be a new form of NFTs where the owning of the NFTs will give you real value, will give you kind of a value that you can trade off. And I'll give some examples there in the future. You had asked the question in terms of, you know, isn't the value that the bidders, you know, place on it, you know, its actual value of the artwork? Yes, you know, the value of an asset is based on a combination of extrinsic and intrinsic value, right? The extrinsic value is once the traders, they lose interest in that piece of asset, is there anything left? Is there anything, you know, of value left of that NFT that can hold its own value? And that's what, you know, one of the things that I want to experiment in the near future is how do you create more NFTs that has intrinsic value. I was also gonna.
I just want to interject for a moment here, because you're talking about traders, which has a more financial connotation. But a number of the people who are investing in NFTs are not traders. They're not from that world. They're, you know, I mean, it's been on every news thing and whatever, and there's a lot of lay people who are interested in it, especially when you have, you know, examples like Christie's or other things that are coming out where, as you said, it's artwork, but it could be a car, it could be a watch, it could be, you know, just like the latest drop from Yeezy for all we know. So, you know, when we're talking about, you know, that, I guess, is there any difference when you're, you know, anything you're bidding on? It's kind of like, as I'm speaking as a total layperson, you know, when you put something up on eBay and you look at what something has sold for, so you put that value up, and then it depends on obviously the bidding. Is that, you know, and that raises the value or lessens the value if there's no bidding for it. Is it any different now with NFTs?
Absolutely not. You know, I think that all of that is based on what the human being, the collector or the investor or the trader, places value on the actual object. There has to be interest, right? There has to be interest, external interest, in order to value that. And the difference between extrinsic and intrinsic is that if an NFT provides actual value, generates value to the investor, that basically means that even if there's no more demand on that NFT is still generating value, and that will be the sort of the base price, you know, of that NFT. Okay. So an example could be that, let's say that you own an NFT, which is a race car, a digital race car that you can use to win races. You know, there's, you know, digital games out there where you can race your cars. The most prominent one is Rev, REVE. And by owning this very special race car, you're winning, and you're winning tokens. And these tokens, can they be exchanged with ETH, then fiat? Then there's real value to it. There's real value to owning this car, plus whatever extrinsic value that the human being places on it, because they just love that car. They just love owning it, right? So there's kind of two pieces of that value. And so that is what I'm talking about, you know, is that intrinsic value. Even if the human doesn't want to own it anymore, you know, because this race car is earning him or her the tokens from winning the races, there is intrinsic value of that digital race car.
It seems there's also an emotional component in all this too.
Absolutely. Pride of ownership, happiness of owning it, that is very emotional, right? real estate, industry, right? For
Right.
instance,
Right.
rental properties is valued objectively based on how much rental income, and doing some sort of future cash flow analysis of that rental income, and that sets the price.
Mm-hmm.
However, residential, meaning that your own home,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to price exactly how much how much the house is valued.
Mm-hmm.
It is based on kind of a subjective, people liking it, or based on, whether, the owner believes that this house is going to provide the best school district for their children and whatnot. So there's just that subtle difference, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So you
Mhm.
talked a bit about real estate. We talked about, sort of gaming and all of that. Where are some other growth areas, industries that you're envisioning and or working on, and any current applications, anything that you can tell us that you're working on that's
Mm.
obviously um, privy.
Mhm, mhm. Well, so I would say that NFTs is primarily going to be led by gaming and sports
Mhm,
betting in the future.
mhm.
I'm specifically looking at NFTs, almost as a club membership. You own it. You own an NFT of some business. You're essentially a VIP member of that business, and you would get special benefits of it.
Mm,
Example of that could be that, let's say that you buy a special NFT that represents the Starbucks, your neighborhood Starbucks, and every time you show up and you show them that, hey, I own this, you can give me 15% off of my coffee, or 20%
uh-huh.
off of my coffee. And what if this club membership is limited, right? They only give out, $10,000, 10,000 memberships
Right.
to their premier customers.
Mhm.
Now, what I could trade off, I can sell my NFT ownership to other coffee lovers in the future, which means that now, it's going to create an interesting dynamics in the near future. That will take time for it to, get traction and adoption.
Mhm.
I would say other NFTs that are going to start getting more traction will be representing any kind of digital content. So digital music, digital books, music sheets, digital video, so think of it, a YouTube video could be NFTized, right?
And it
Uh,
has been, hasn't it? Wasn't the one about the little boy, whatever, his little brother bit him or something? They created an NFT from that.
yeah, yeah. And so now what if that whole thing, the owning of that NFT,
Hmm.
gives them the revenue from the ads from YouTube? I don't think that part has been done yet.
No,
Right.
I don't know, but yeah,
Right.
the potential is there.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
The
the potential
potential.
there.
Mhm.
Right. Books, for instance, right? I mean, there is right now, if I buy a digital book for Kindle on Amazon, I'm not able to resell that, or I'm not able to kind of lend it to another person,
Right,
which is what we used to do, be able to do that. Back in the days, we buy physical books, we can resell them,
right.
and then we can even, people rent books as well, and you can lend it to your friends, your family members.
Hmm.
That with digital books is hard to do that these days. So with the concept of NFTs, which allows you to prove your ownership and allows you to kind of trace the transactions on on the blockchain, that could create a new kind of economy over there.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, concert tickets, I think, all that can become NFTIs as well.
Hmm.
Meaning that you right now it's very hard for you to kind of sell your concert tickets and prove, it's a true legitimacy and ownership. So with all that, it will make the whole digital transactions a lot smoother.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off today?
Yeah, I would say that, there's going to be the future trend will be, more applications of NFTs. We talked about gaming, sports betting,
Hmm.
digital content,
Hmm.
club memberships,
I like that
real,
one very much.
real, yeah, Yeah, real
Uh-huh.
estate ownership, right?
Right.
Real estate ownership is totally going to be tokenized.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Tokenizing licenses, certifications, your entire resume is going to be an NFT
Mm.
built off of different NFTs. So think
Mhm.
about it, right? People will be able to validate, oh, you really went to school here. You got your your diploma degree here, or you
Right.
got this true certificate and whatnot. And beyond the applications of NFTs, I would say that future trends, other trends in NFTs will be around NFT staking. So you stake, you receive some sort of dividends, or of it. So there's an intrinsic value there. NFT renting. I don't think people talked about NFT renting a lot, right? So let's say I own this mega race car that I spent a lot of money souping it up. This is my NFT race car. Instead of selling this off, maybe I rent it to another gamer,
For a
right?
certain amount of time.
Right, for a short amount of time. And then, okay, now there's my rental income, intrinsic value there again.
Uh-huh.
So we're gonna see more of that there. So yeah, very exciting world we're in. I really think that we're at the beginning of the NFT kind of revolution, and more and more things are gonna be NFTized.
Terrific. Linda, thank you so much. I really appreciate your input here and your discussion. Thank you all for listening today, and we look forward to seeing you all at the next Bellringer. Thanks and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Have a great day too. Bye.